The day the company was accused of financial fraud, my wife, the CEO, stood at the press conference. She pointed her finger at me in front of everyone, claiming that I had manipulated the accounts. Beside her, Edward, her loyal assistant, put on a sorrowful face. "Daniel, I warned you many times not to falsify records. Why didn't you listen?" The audience turned their eyes on me, waiting for me to defend myself. But instead of panicking, I calmly smiled and announced my resignation. My wife, Claire, looked relieved. She whispered softly to me, "Don't worry. Once this storm passes, I'll secretly reinstate you. And then, we'll finally make our relationship public." She thought she was in control. What she didn't know was that the board had ordered me, from day one, to install monitoring software on every single office computer. Every false transaction, every shady transfer, was already recorded. The moment I decided to expose the truth, their lies would collapse, and they wouldn't just lose the company. They'd face prison time. Back at the office, Edward arrogantly knocked my belongings to the floor. "Daniel, resigning isn't enough. You'll also need to cover the $8 million we lost. And don't forget, hand over every project you're working on. We'll help finish them." The projects he wanted weren't ordinary. They were the lifeblood of the company, each one secured through my endless sleepless nights. He wasn't just accusing me of fraud. He wanted to drain my last ounce of value. I turned to Claire. She hesitated briefly, then sided with Edward. "Daniel, if you hand over the projects, I might allow you to stay. It's the best compromise." Hearing this, Edward smirked victoriously. 6 months ago, when Edward first joined, I noticed Claire's unusual attention to him. She insisted on hiring him herself, ignoring all other qualified candidates. When I questioned her, she claimed he reminded her of me in my youth. But deep down I already knew. He wasn't a reflection of me. He was the shadow of betrayal. That night, I moved into a hotel and instructed my lawyer to prepare a divorce agreement. Just as I was about to rest, a notification popped up on my phone. It was from Edward. The video showed him reclining on my sofa, snacks and fruit scattered across the table, while Claire cooked in the kitchen. His voice message followed. "Daniel, no matter what, in her heart, I'll always come first. You never enjoyed this treatment, did you?" He was right. In 10 years of marriage, Claire had never once cooked for me. She claimed she couldn't stand the smell of oil. But for him, she prepared meals with a smile. I saved every file, every message, as evidence. Little did they know, a much larger storm was about to hit them. The next day, I was unexpectedly invited by Titan Group, an industry leader. They admired my achievements and offered me a contract with housing, salary, and freedom. I accepted without hesitation. On my way out, I ran into Claire and Edward at the same tea house. Edward sneered, "Following us now, Daniel? Still jealous?" Claire softened her tone, believing I had come to beg. "Daniel, apologize to Edward, and maybe I'll forgive you." I looked at her calmly. "No, Claire. I came here to tell you. I want a divorce." Her smile froze. Edward's eyes lit up with secret joy. The following day, the chairman of the parent company arrived unexpectedly. Edward and Claire immediately accused me again, claiming I fabricated the evidence. I let them speak. Then, I pulled out a flash drive. The secretary plugged it in. On the screen, clear footage showed Edward's repeated embezzlement, his edits to accounting records, and even conversations with suppliers he offended. The room went silent. Edward's mask crumbled. Claire, desperate, defended him. "Chairman, this must be fake. Edward is loyal. He's talented." But the client beside us laughed coldly. "Talent? He's nothing but a liability. Claire, you've lost your judgment." The chairman's face darkened. He turned to me. "Daniel, you've done well. As for you, Claire, you're dismissed." The truth unraveled like a storm. Edward was arrested, and Claire's reputation crumbled overnight. The board stripped her of her position, and the company collapsed under scandal. She tried to beg me, crying, "Daniel, I'll go public with us now. I'll never see Edward again." But I had no more patience. "Claire, you betrayed me once. There is no second chance." In the end, I walked away, leaving her with nothing but regret, while I began a new life with real power in my hands. After moving out, I returned once to collect my things. The house I once called home was silent. Every photo frame, every piece of furniture reminded me of 10 wasted years. On the table, I noticed Claire's notebook. Inside, she had written, "Edward is my future. Daniel is my past." I closed the book without a word. That night, I sent the divorce papers to her lawyer. She refused to sign, not because of love, but because she feared losing everything tied to me. Without the company, Claire's social circle vanished. Investors pulled out. Friends stopped answering her calls. She came to Titan Group, waiting for me in the lobby. "Daniel, I was wrong," she whispered. "Give me one more chance. I can start fresh with you." But I only glanced at her. "Claire, you were never wrong. You were selfish, and selfish people never change." Her face turned pale as I walked away while whispers spread among the employees. "Isn't that the former CEO? Why is she begging him?" Just when I thought Edward was finished, he resurfaced on bail. He barged into my hotel suite, eyes bloodshot, spitting venom. "Daniel, you ruined me, but Claire still loves me. You'll never replace me in her heart." I didn't even raise my voice. "Edward, do you really think love built on lies and betrayal can survive a single storm?" Security dragged him out, but I knew this wasn't the last time he'd crawl back for revenge. Weeks later, Titan Group's board called a special meeting. To my surprise, they offered me the position of vice president. Their words still echo in my ears. "Daniel, a man who survives betrayal with calmness, is a man who can lead." The moment I signed the contract, the weight of my old life disappeared. For the first time in years, I felt free. But across the city, Claire sat alone in her apartment, watching the news. When she saw my promotion, her wine glass shattered in her hand. On a rainy evening, Claire appeared one last time. She stood outside my office building, soaked, desperate, trembling. "Daniel, please. I've lost everything. I only want you back." For a moment, I remembered the woman I once loved. But then I remembered the betrayal, the lies, the cruelty. I placed an umbrella in her hand. "This is the last kindness I can give you. Take it and leave." She broke down in tears, kneeling on the wet pavement. But I walked away, never turning back. From that day on, Claire became a memory. And I, Daniel, began my new chapter as a man reborn.